Oh, yippee. Am I on?
You're on.
Yes, hello everybody. I'm Vince Laws. I'm a poet, an artist, a performer, campaigner, and I want to talk to you about a play I've written called A Very Queer Nazi Faust. And it has various trigger warnings. It contains adult language, mental health, suicide, DWP deaths, Lucifer, but no Nazis. And I campaign to highlight the deaths of people dealing with the DWP, the Department for Work and Pensions. I'm on disability benefit myself. I've twice had my benefits stopped without warning. And for someone with depression and anxiety, that's very difficult to deal with. So I do this work because I fear it could be me next. So A Very Queer Nazi Faust is a battle cry for disabled people trying to get justice and humanity from a government which has been condemned by the United Nations. I take difficult topics like DWP deaths, work capability assessments, and this government's refusal to listen. And without devaluing those, I add poetry, surreal humor, Lucifer, and make the whole piece an entertaining, uplifting, rebellious event with audience participation. Woohoo! So what is A Very Queer Nazi Faust about? Poet John Faust is suicidal. His benefits have been stopped without warning. The bailiffs are due to evict him. His dog is in the vet's dying. His car needs a new clutch, and he can't finish the poetic masterpiece while the voices inside his head torment him. In despair, he throws himself off Beeston Bump, Norfolk's highest peak, clutching the tragic true life and deserved death of a benefit scrounger by himself. But Lucifer won't let John drown because she loves his work and she wants a bigger part. So far, the journey of A Very Queer Nazi Faust, it started in 2016 when I made a comic version. And then in 2017, I recruited 13 volunteers in Norwich to help me bring the comic to life. And we raised £1,000 and made the show on a shoestring. Try saying that, a show on a shoestring. So we made the show on a shoestring, ending with a one-off performance at Norwich Pride in 2017. And then in 2018, I got £10,000 funding from Unlimited, woohoo, to do it all again, bigger, bolder, with 13 participants, some queer, some disabled, no Nazis. We sold out Norwich Arts Centre, and the chap there that runs it, the Arts Centre director, Pasco, said that he bloody loved it. And the show I enjoyed the most this year, and yes, you can quote me on that, because I was always after a quote from him. So the set of A Very Queer Nazi Faust is very simple. 2 eyeballs hang from above because we are inside John Faust's head. Across the back of the stage hang 4 shrouds protesting the deaths of people dealing with the DWP. So this is a series I've made called The DWP Deaths Make Me Sick Shrouds, part of an ongoing series. So far, I've made 25, and they're made with spray paints on recycled bedding. They've been seen on street protests, in Parliament, in galleries, and there are 3 currently in a year-long exhibition at the People's History Museum in Manchester. And I shout about this because I wanted to stop, really. So all the participants said they thought A Very Queer Nazi Faust was worth sending on tour around the country, but due to various impairments and the size of the cast, that was simply never going to happen. So I was advised to rewrite the play for a cast of 5 and cast professional actors who could go on tour. So I've had feedback from various places: Live Cannon, The Common Lot, Grey Eye Theatre and 1623 Theatre. And Ben there at 1623 loves it so much, he's going to come on board as a dramaturg and help me to direct. There's only one character in A Very Queer Nazi Faust who has disabilities, but I want to recruit a cast of 5 disabled performers to show disabled people can play any part. So I've got a few reviews from it. A devilish joyride through the dark underbelly of the benefit system, exposing the hardship and systematic discrimination suffered by those who are most vulnerable. With some inspired casting and a dash of irony, it treads the line between sheer entertainment and a serious and thoughtful agenda. Sue. I am still amazed at the scope of creative artistic chaos that takes the viewer into leaps of necessary imagination to find their bearings. Still now, hours later, I am reeling. John. Felt like I was sitting in something similar to what it must have been like for early Brecht theatre. Steve. So I've been ACE funded 4 times before, but the application process is very stressful. And so I'm looking for alternatives. I want to try and raise £10,000 to take a very queer Nazi Faust to the next stage. And 10,000 will allow us to rent a space, engage 5 disabled actors and workshop the play for 1 week with the dramaturg and myself. And at the end of that week, we would give a rehearsed reading in front of an audience and theatre professionals in hope of securing funding and tour venues. I feel like this is a really important piece of work. I feel driven to get it out and get it seen because people are dying because of this government's policies enforced by the DWP and private contractors. And worse than that, the government knows that this is happening, tries to cover up its actions and deny the link between deaths and benefit claimants, which is regularly reported by the tenacious bulldog that is Disability News Service. So I've sent the script off to various places. I've sent it to the BBC. I've entered a couple of national play competitions. I've applied to Camden People's Theatre, the Lippman Miliband Trust. Norfolk Disabled People Against Cuts have pledged me £500. Ben from 1623 Theatres put in 1,000 in to cover his fee. I've covered my fee. Any help, any suggestions, any funding, any donations would be absolutely wonderful. And just in case you want to know what next and why that's me and my dog Jessica wearing Elizabethan ruffs, that's because I've just been commissioned to develop ideas for a very queer King Lear, which will, so if you're interested in talking to me about that or about the Faust, thank you very much for listening. Thanks for that. I'm in rural Norfolk, as you can see, under the sun lamp. I never waste a minute, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you.